I'm desperate. I'm about to get evicted. So I'm like, okay, I want to see. And listen, she had it all together. She had the cars, the flyers, and everything. When I popped this pill, that's been when he began to go over the whole thing about, we travel, we go to Vegas, we go to Atlantic City. Me being naive, and I'm desperate, and I'm depressed, and I'm at a low place in my life. So I'm like, okay, what I gotta do? That day, I get a call from my aunt, and my aunt was like, Carissa, I need you to get up here, and I need you to get up here fast. She said DCF is here. In between, he slipped out, and somebody else came in.
Gotcha.
And so I was broke. And that was my first introduction into the game. So at this point, I ain't no good for nobody. I ain't no good mother. I ain't nothing. And so his whole goal was to smear my name. We're at clubs. We were at gas stations. The whole goal was to get to the money.
Reborn and relentless, the stories are true. Tonya D.Jackson bringing voices through. Faith through the fire, watch what they do. 'Cause it's the season we shine through. Shine through, shine through, shine through, shine through, shine through.
So we're gonna get right into your story, right? And we're gonna have to start from the very beginning because your story is so interesting, it's so empowering, and it is like such a huge testament to God's grace and his mercy, his purpose, his plan. He's all in it. So he's in it where people wouldn't think he'd be in it.
Correct.
Right?
Absolutely.
You've gone places that anybody who's met you right now would not dare think. You've touched grounds that were forbidden, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I want you to please share. I know a little bit of it, but I need to know. I need to hear more, right? So we all want to hear. Let's start with your childhood because we already know that growing up shapes who we are ultimately. So let's start there.
Wow. So I love telling my story about childhood, right? So just imagine 5 beautiful women coming from a town of Mobile, Alabama, moving to the big city, Connecticut.
Okay.
So my mom and her sisters, they moved here, and it was the big city. So they experienced a lot of things. My aunt, she pretty much raised her sisters. And so we grew up around a time where drugs was pretty big in the 80s. And life was pretty hard. My mom, she was sick. She had a terminal illness. And so it was really hard for her to raise all of us. But she did the best that she could. And so it got to a point where things got really hard for her. And so my sister and I, which is my oldest sister, we had to go live with our grandparents, our paternal grandparents. And so they raised us. And growing up in our home, it was great. We went to church. My grandmother, she was into church. So we pretty much grew up in church. So we went to church every day. It's a joke that I like to tell people, but we went to church. Monday was prayer service, Tuesday choir rehearsal, Wednesday deliverance service. Listen, Thursday night youth ministry, Friday night a musical, okay? And then sometimes we would go to church, Sunday school, regular service, and then we would have like afternoon service. So I grew up in a family who based our foundation on serving God. I grew up seeing my grandmother being a woman of faith. She worked, her and my grandfather, and they tried to give us the best life that they could. And they did a great job at it. But even in that, I still struggled with rejection and abandonment, right? Because even though my parents were in my life and my grandparents really encouraged us to have a relationship with our parents, it was always that question in my mind, well, why don't I live with them?
Right. You want me to have a relationship with them, but I can't go with that.
Yeah, like why don't I live with them? It's like it's
Right.
different, you know.
And
So
where was that? Because I heard you talk about mom came from Alabama,
mhm.
but where was that? Did she meet him in Alabama?
No, so when she moved to the big city of Connecticut,
Not the
she
big
met
city.
my father,
Mhm.
my dad, and they had a relationship,
Mhm.
but it was off and on. It
Okay.
wasn't something that was stable.
Okay.
You know, they
Okay.
were not married.
Okay. And how many
And
siblings?
I have and I always have to think about it because it's like a
Uh-huh.
blended
Yeah,
family,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
So I have two brothers.
Okay.
One is deceased,
Mhm.
and then I have two sisters,
Okay.
and I have a brother and sister by my dad's previous marriage that he has now.
Okay. Okay. So
So
they're not all by mommy and
no.
dad. Gotcha.
Mm-mm.
Okay. 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 And then grandma raises you guys, your grandmother, your grandfather.
Hmm.
Now they take on who?
They take on me and my older sister,
Okay. Okay.
and it's
So the boys.
the boys. They actually ended up in foster home as well.
Okay.
And which is a very interesting story.
Mhm.
For a while, I did not know where my brothers were.
Okay.
And I would always go to the prayer line. And it's so funny because before I walk up to the prayer line, the pastor already know what I'm going up to prayer for. I'm praying for my mother and I'm praying for my brothers. And I always had a desire to want to meet my brothers. And the funny thing about it was my brothers lived right down the street from me. And I didn't even know that my brothers lived down the street. So me, growing up in church, I was like, oh, my brothers, they got, their foster mother got a pastor. So
Mhm.
I'm like, can we talk to the pastor? Can we see what we can do? So I
Yeah.
begged my grandmother. One thing about me is I am consistent
Yeah.
and persistent. Like when
Mhm.
my mind is made up about something, I'm
Mhm.
going to do whatever I have to do to make it
Mhm.
happen. And so I just really just kept talking and praying to God. And I'm like, can you set this up so I can meet my brother? So she actually agreed to allow me to meet my brother. So she set it up to where I would go to their church and I would meet them. And so they're older now, right? They were babies
Yeah.
when, we were around each other. So
Mhm.
they're older. And so we go to church.
Mhm.
And it's funny because I'm walking into the church
Mhm.
and I'm like new, right?
Mhm.
And so I'm staring at him, right? And my brothers is looking at me like, who is
Who
this
is this
girl?
girl?
Like, she stared at you. She must like you or something like that. It's so funny when I hear my brother talk about that now. But I'm just staring at them like, wow, these are my brothers.
Wow.
And so after church, they introduced us.
Mhm.
And from there, and I'm so blessed because she allowed us to have a relationship. And so I can go visit them.
Mhm.
It took us a little while to kind of get over that hump of us not being able to grow up together.
Yeah.
But that's kind of how I was reintroduced to my brother. So I come from a broken home,
Yeah.
my siblings, us all being separated.
Mhm.
But God just found a way that we found each other. And it's so funny because my siblings, my mom,
Mhm.
named us all with K's, right? So
Mhm.
it's Katrina, Carissa, Kimberly, Kevin, and Khalees.
Wow.
I don't know what they was thinking about. Okay, right? She was like, I'm just gonna do the gays. Right. So.
Okay, okay. So you find your brother
Mhm.
and you and your sister with your grandfather, y'all
Mhm.
raised in the church.
Mhm.
Was mom saved, mom or dad saved, or
Mom was saved. Now my mom loved the Lord,
okay?
but she did have her struggles.
Yeah,
She
yeah,
struggled with some things.
yeah,
To know that you have a terminal illness,
yeah,
and you have to live with that. That's really, really hard.
yeah.
So she struggled a lot with that.
Mhm.
My dad, he struggled too.
Of course.
But
Yeah,
my
for
father,
sure.
he worked.
Mhm.
He was a worker. He always worked. I call blue collar. He always had a job. And that's where I get my work ethic from.
Mhm.
I get my work ethic from my dad, but I get my creativity and my love for God from my mom
Mhm.
side.
Okay, so you and sister are close, obviously, because y'all grew up
Hmm.
together.
Hmm.
So school, take us through what was school like?
Wow. Okay. So I went to Lincoln Bassett. I went to Lincoln Bassett Elementary School.
Mhm.
Um, and I loved it. I was always into the arts. So I was in all the arts programs. I danced, I did acting, singing, all of that. Like, we was the bomb.
Yeah.
Lincoln Bassett was the bomb, okay?
I heard.
So we would throw out all these different events and stuff, and you got these little kids from the hood, like, we all dancing. We thought we was like Michael Jackson background dancers, okay?
So you grew up in the Ville.
I grew up in the Ville,
Okay.
Newhallville,
Okay.
Sheffield, woo woo. Or what they call it, up top.
Oh, Lord.
Up top, right? But I was always like the young preacher. Like, I was always the one that would be talking to everybody, trying to encourage them. Like, you got to reach your dreams. We got to get out the hood. And they'd be like, oh, God, here go Rissa. But that was always me. I was always a pusher.
Yeah.
I always saw things in people that they didn't see in themselves. And so, and that's a part of my personality and who I am today.
Yeah.
So.
Okay, so school was good. Elementary school was good.
Yeah.
What else school did you
Okay, then come Jackie Robinson.
Uh-oh.
I went to Jackie Robinson. JR, okay. JR was a different beast. Okay, but we had fun. We had fun. Like I said, I was always in the arts. I was in band.
Okay.
I do apologize, Jackie Robinson. We had the best band. So I played in a band. I know. Betsy Ross was our rivalry. Sheridan, But Jackie Robinson was the year for me that I really struggled with my identity. Because you're like in the 6th grade, 7th grade.
Yes.
And I struggled a lot because I was a church girl.
Yeah.
I was known as a church girl.
Yeah.
But I was very naive. And I was very curious. So even though I felt like I was sheltered and protected, I still wanted to know what was on the other side. So I experimented a lot in relationships. I like the bad boys.
In middle school.
In middle school. And it brings me to an interesting story to where in middle school, around the 6th grade, right, I was going to church every Sunday, but I liked this boy.
Okay.
And he was very older than me, and so we always had to be home before the street lights came on. But I would find myself going to it was like a projects that was kind of like up the street from my house. And so when I met him, he liked me, and I liked him, but he ain't really like me though, right? So he was like in a gang,
Okay.
And so in order for me to be in a relationship with this boy, I had to pretty much be in this gang or try out for the gang, right?
So it's like an initiation.
Yeah, initiation type of thing, And so it was just like steps to it.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? It was like, I'm going to see how far she'll go.
Okay.
And a lot of it was to pretty much keep their hands clean, but I was a tough girl and I was very fearless, but I also had morals.
Yeah.
So I struggled, I struggled with that. So it came to a point one day to where it was my friend and I had to fight my friend and they were going to jump my friend. Literally, and this is my friend. Like, we play on the block and everything together, but I like this boy, right?
Wait, so you had to fight your friend as an initiation to this game?
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, Carissa. I had to do that.
Wow. Okay.
So, we go to her house and I'm like, come outside. Everybody's looking at me like,
she was like, what?
Rissa, like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
And they call me Rissa. And so her mom, she knew me very well. She knew my family. I live right down the street. And so her mom came outside and she was like, what are you doing? And I'm like, come outside, because I knew I kind of felt like if I fought her, then they would not jump her.
Okay.
So that was my
You were
thinking.
in a sense trying to protect her, but
Not really trying to protect her, right? Because they're going to jump her anyway once we fight.
Yeah.
So we ended up not fighting because her mother did not allow her to come outside. Now, this is in 6th grade. I'm in middle school, right? And so I go to school. That next day, I'm coming home. I'm walking up the street. And my grandmother is outside and everybody is outside. So we lived on a corner. So it was like the hangout spot where everybody would go. So I see everybody outside and I'm coming home. I'm walking up the street like, hey, it's a cool day today. And so my grandmother, she comes outside and she like yokes me up on the truck and she's like, you want to be in a gang? I'll be your gang. She beat me outside in front of everybody, okay?
Wow.
Everybody. Yeah. That was the last time
You were done with that.
I was done with the game.
You were like, okay.
Yeah.
You're good for me.
I wasn't about that. Like, but the crazy thing about it was so many different initiations to it. Like, you know, they used to have us put our hands on the wall, and they would like beat us in our backs, and if we fell, then we would have to get back up, and they would just, and a lot of that was just to see how tough we was. So I would come home and I'd be all bruised up and everything. She'd be like, "What's wrong
This
with
is
you?"
the sixth grade,
Sixth grade.
and nobody knew that you were doing this.
My friends.
Just that's it.
My friends, they knew, and so they would try to talk to me, and they would be like, you know, Carissa, this is not you,
Yeah.
you know, and we definitely see the change in you. Like, you are definitely changing, and of course, this guy don't like you,
Right.
like, but I was thinking about it,
Right.
like, oh, I'm love, you know, and they was like, this guy, he just it's not it, you know. So they used to try to talk to me, you know, but that was literally the last time, and they really didn't bother me anymore, and that was nothing but God, because you know, you in a gang, you bored in, you bored out, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you can't just leave.
But yeah, and it's so funny because, you know, they start young. It's grooming. You know, they groom you while you're young. I didn't really realize that, but again, I was struggling with my identity. I didn't want to be known as the church girl all the time, you know. And I struggled a lot, like I said, with rejection and abandonment. So I struggled with my identity. And I would say that I was very naive when it came down to certain things. But I didn't think I was until I got in the thick of it.
I can't even, but I remember when you were in the game, you were like the whole game situation. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Okay. So you never bothered you. Obviously, these kids did they go to your school?
No.
Okay.
No.
So they were just from the Ville, like area. Okay. So they didn't bother you no more. And now you graduated from Jackie Robinson.
Yes.
And now you're in high school.
Yes. Now I'm in high school, so I'm on my high horse, right? So I go to co-op. Okay, that's an art school. Originally, I was supposed to go to career because my sister went to career. That was school for business. I wasn't really into business, so I always danced and I always was in art. So I wanted to go to co-op. So I go to co-op, and so I'm really into my art. You know, I'm really into dance. I went to DD's also. So that was a great experience for me.
Don't tell it.
Yeah. So the beginning, you know, I struggled with rejection and abandonment. So I always struggled with relationships. And so in high school, I meet my first love, which is today my children's father. And pretty much he was the love of my life. He was my first. Yeah. You know? Yeah. And so we all know what that entails. He was my first. Pretty much lost my mind. Sneaking out. Sneaking out of the house. Whoo, there was there was a time when he was living in my grandparents' basement for a week. They didn't even know. Yeah, that part.
But that's how it goes. That's how it goes. So, okay, so you meet, y'all in a relationship.
Yes.
You're sneaking them in.
Yes.
You stay a week.
Yes.
And he went to co-op too?
No, he actually went to Hampton High.
Okay.
Hampton
So
High.
you met him in the neighborhood, or?
No, so we were downtown New Haven. That's pretty much the connector. That's like where everybody would go to catch their buses to go wherever they went. And so one day I'm downtown, me and my friends, we walk in, and I told you I was fearless. So my friend was like, "Oh, who that?" You know, he wasn't from the Ville, like, and actually he was from the Ville, but I just never seen him before. So my friend was like, "Oh, who that?" And I was like, "I don't know." She was like, "I dare you to go up to him and like speak to him or whatever." So I was like, "Why you gotta dare me to do that?" So I did it. You know, and he lied to me about his age. He told me he was a little older than what he was, but I liked older guys at that time. And so, I don't know, we thought we was grown. And so, you know, we met and we started talking from there. In the beginning, I wasn't really that interested in him because I like older guys. But then he kind of grew on me. He was always there. And so we built a relationship from there. And that is the beginning of how a lot of things got started for me. He and I, we struggled. We were very young. We didn't know what it meant to be parents.
Yeah.
We did not know what it even meant to really be in a relationship, you know. But
What
we,
age did you get pregnant?
I got pregnant at 18. I had my daughter at 19.
Okay.
It's funny because when I got pregnant, my grandparents told me prior to do not bring any babies into this house. Right, I was already forewarned. Right, but I'm in love. This my
You
first.
don't
Like,
hear nothing. You don't hear.
I
You only
love
hear
my.
what he said. You don't hear nothing. You don't hear nothing.
And this is the interesting thing about it, because there was already an appetite there
Yeah.
sexually.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I felt like I had to fulfill that.
Yes. Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So it
Yes,
was just like
yes.
I did any and everything
It was your duty.
to
Basically, it was like, it's on me.
but right. Right. So I got pregnant at
Yeah.
at 18. I had my daughter at 19. When I got pregnant, you know, my grandmother said, you know, since her and my grandfather, since you can't abide by the rules of the home, you know, I'm gonna have to go send you to live with your mom. Now, mind you, I told you my mom had a terminal illness. Now, around this time, I'm pregnant.
Okay.
I have to go live with my mom, which the way that she lived was totally different, you know, and it was towards the end.
Yeah.
And so it was hard for me to see my mom in the condition that she was. And I kind of, instead of drawing closer to my mom, I kind of backed away from her, you know, because I'm a very sensitive person. And so I really drew close to this relationship. But my mom, she was so strong and she was there for me and she kind of helped me through that process. But I was really, really, really depressed because it was like, I got to go live with my mom. You know, I'm pregnant. You know, I feel my life is over. You know, how am I going to do this? I even dropped out of school.
Okay.
I dropped out of school. I just didn't. They told me that I could no longer go to co-op because I was pregnant and I was a liability.
Right.
And so they sent me to Polly McCabe,
Uh-huh.
which was horrible. I hated Polly McCabe. Okay, you got a whole bunch of pregnant women in one school.
Right.
You know what our favorite subject was? Lunch.
I bet all y'all hungry.
Right. And all the baby daddy stories. It was just like, oh my goodness. And I hated it.
Yeah.
So I just dropped out of school. I just didn't have the motivation. And plus I had to work. So I'm pregnant. I got to take care of my baby,
Right.
you know. And my kid's father, you know, he was in the streets, you know. He was an entrepreneur / you know, hustler. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, he worked his own hours, you know. I'm just going to. I'm sorry, he wasn't good at it. But, no, sorry. Just being honest. And so he was kind of in and out too, like in and out of jail and stuff. So I had to kind of deal with that. You know, I thought that I was going to have the perfect family. You know, growing up in church, it's like, okay, we're going to get married. We're going to have kids. We're going to have the white picket fence, you know. And so after I had my daughter, we broke up for a few times. It was just an on and off relationship, on and on. And we fought a lot. We fought. Like, it was just a lot of control.
Yeah.
You know, neither one of us was mature enough at that time. I understand that now, but I did not understand that at that time. You know? And so it got to the end to where my mom got really sick. So we ended up moving into a shelter. So I'm pregnant. You know, I had to move into a shelter with my youngest sister and my mom. And so I was so embarrassed. I was so ashamed. You know, and I just was like, I don't want to go to school. I don't want to do nothing. I just want to work. And I met a teacher and I love her. Her name was Miss Justice. She went to Hill House. And she met me one day and she was like, Carissa, like, what are you doing? Like, what's going on? I haven't seen you. And I was just like, I'm done with school. I got a baby now. I got to work. I got to do what I have to do. And she, here's where it comes in. So Miss Justice was like, listen, I got a program. It's called a homebound program.
Okay.
She was like, you can still work. You just have to do your work at home. And then just turn your work in every month, and whatever you need, I'll help you. And so I did that.
Okay.
I did my work. I buckled down, turned in my work every month, you know, and I graduated with honors.
Wow.
Honors, but I did not graduate with my graduating class.
Okay.
I had to graduate a year later.
Okay.
But the thing is, I
But you
graduated.
graduated.
And I walked across the stage, and my daughter was on the side of that stage, and I was like, baby, we did it. We
Yeah.
graduated, and
Yeah.
I ended up graduating from high school.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay. Baby daddy in and out of jail. Y'all broken up at this time.
Yeah.
Okay. What happens next?
Wow. So it was horrible.
Okay.
Okay. So like I said, we were in a shelter. My mom passes away
Okay.
while we're in the shelter.
Okay.
And so I have my baby. It's just me. It's my little sister. My little sister went to go live with my aunt because that was my mom's wish.
Okay.
And it was just me and my baby.
Yeah.
And just trying to get over the death of my mom, which was another part of my life with grief I never dealt with. And so I stayed there for about a year, me and my baby. Nobody even knew I was in a shelter. Like I was just, I would say I was very prideful.
Okay.
That's something that I learned. I was very prideful. And so we lived in a shelter. After that, I leave the shelter. I finally get my first apartment.
Okay.
Not mature. Okay. I get my first apartment. My kid's father, he's in and out of jail. You know what I'm saying? I'm upset with him because first of all, we had this kid. We supposed to be doing life together.
Yes.
I'm going wild out
Yeah.
because I'm mad at you.
Yes. Yes.
Right?
So you gonna wild out because you gonna teach him a lesson.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right. You
I know
cheating.
that wild out. Yeah.
Okay. You these are the type of girls you want. I'm gonna
be that.
I'm gonna be it.
Okay.
The biggest one. And so I kind of wilded out.
Yeah.
I really did. I wilded out. It was my first apartment. I experimented with drugs. Man, I popped pills. I did shrooms. You know, I smoked weed. I drank. You know, I was just trying to fill a void that I had. And so my babies was with me. Then that's my first daughter.
Okay.
Now we only got one kid at this
Okay.
time.
Okay.
And so, you know, and my daughter, you know, she experienced a lot of me not being mature enough as a mom, but I did the best that I could.
Yeah.
And so after that, I gave him an ultimatum. Either you get yourself together or I'm out. Big mistake. Okay, you should never force anybody to do something that they are not ready for. And so he made the choice, and so we got married. And so from the marriage, we had 2 more children. And so life is good. You know, we got the kids, but again, he not ready to settle down. I'm not ready to be a wife. Okay, I could put the responsibility on me. So we were always fighting. We were always back and forth. I would kick him out and be like, I don't care where you going, just leave here. You know, that left him being unstable. You know, and so from that, the last time I was just really hurt. And so I felt like it was just no coming back from the last situation we had. Right? So I'm married. I feel like this is what God had that I'm supposed to have. And so when my marriage did not work, I went into such a deep depression. I mean, a deep depression. I got these 3 kids. I have to take care of them now. Now, he was there, but I didn't want him to be. Because it's like, you do you, I'm going to do me. You know, and I struggled so bad. So bad.
When you two were
Mhm.
together with the kids,
Mhm.
trying to create a home, right? Where did you guys start going to church together, or y'all did not even incorporate that yet?
So
That was such a big part of how you grew up. That was kind of like the, you know what I'm saying?
So me, I was always in church.
Right.
That was the thing. I was always in church. I always went to church. He didn't.
Okay.
It was so funny because sometimes, like, he would drop me off at church.
Drop you off.
Right, drop me off at church. You know, the car smell like weed. I gotta go in church, smell like weed. I did not smoke weed at that time, but I'm so embarrassed. I'm going there. I'm just like, oh my
Lord
goodness. I'm feeling like I'm what's her name from Baby Boy, right?
Yes.
He's dropping me off. But when we got married,
Yeah.
he actually changed his life around. He got saved.
Okay.
When we got married, that's why I kind of thought it was God. Because I'm like, oh, he got married. God, this gonna work.
Yes.
Like, this gonna
You
work.
You changing them for me,
Yeah, it's
Lord.
gonna work. Right?
Yeah,
But
I know.
nobody can change. You can't change for a person. They have to want to change
Yes.
for themselves.
Yes.
And that's one of the biggest things that allowed me to spiral down, because I became very angry with God, because I was like, God, I'm doing everything I'm supposed to do. Now I ain't perfect now, because like I said, I ain't know how to be a wife or a mother. But I'm like, I'm doing everything. I'm working, I'm going to church, I'm doing everything I'm supposed to do. Why is my marriage not working? Why is my family not working? And I blame myself for a lot of what transpired or what went down. And so I worked, but I have these 3 kids that I have to take care of. I had a really good job, and I was working at Verizon Wireless in Meriden,
Okay.
and I had a good job. It got to the point to where I really couldn't focus on work too much, and so I quit.
Wait, you said I ain't doing this.
I can't. It was just a lot of mental and emotional strain. So I quit. So when I quit, I said, I'm going to take the skills that I learned at Verizon, because I worked in their marketing department, and I'm going to go into party promotions, right? I'm going to promote parties. Like, I'm going to do this.
Verizon's a party provider. Look, I ain't mad.
I'm be on my own schedule. So,
Schedule.
right. So I started promoting parties. I started doing Center Street.
Okay.
And then I started doing a little bit with Van Dome.
Okay.
And then I went from being party promotion to, trying to be a baddie.
So who's watching the kids
So-
while you at the club?
So I had little cousins.
Okay, got
So
it.
I would call
So
my little cousins.
watch the kids.
I would call my
Okay.
little cousins, and I'd be
Okay.
like, little cousins, come over,
Okay.
you could watch some movies and
Okay.
stuff. So my little cousins used to watch my kids a
Okay.
lot. And my little sister used to watch my kids. And so I used to promote parties. And so that opened up a whole nother world to me, trying to be a model and trying to be a baddie.
Okay.
And so I was a part of a few groups.
Okay.
Actually, I was a billionaire Barbie doll.
Okay, billionaire Barbie doll.
Yes, billionaire Barbie doll. Okay, I don't know what we were doing. We thought we was rappers. We thought we was dancers. I don't know what we
Y'all
were
was
doing.
just gonna make it.
But yeah,
in the
we-
entertainment industry.
Yeah,
I
I was gonna be somebody.
Yes, I'm gonna be somebody.
It's gonna make sense. And so that's what really introduced me to the world of modeling, into the whole industry of being in the industry.
Yeah.
And I can be honest and transparent, right? Because I'm free.
Absolutely.
There were times where, I had a neighbor that lived upstairs, and so we gonna get real, right? We gonna
Okay,
get
let's
free.
real.
I would leave my kid. There was a time I would leave my kids home by themselves, and I would be like, "Oh, the neighbor is upstairs. If you need anything, just go upstairs." Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna be real. I had to do my thing.
You gotta do what you gotta do. You
Gotta
gotta
go.
get to this money.
Had to get to this money. I had to go.
totally get it.
You know. So I did a lot of things that were not mature.
Yeah.
And like I said, I was not mature, and I wasn't ready, but I had to.
Yeah.
I had to do it. And the thing about it was, my family was always in my life, but I had pride.
Yeah, I gotta do this myself. I can do this myself.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get that. Okay, so you party promoting.
Mhm.
You Barbie, billionaire Barbie.
Billionaire Barbie
A
doll.
couple more things. You are now sucked into this industry.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So let's get to how did you get sucked away from your family?
Yes. So, I was doing party promotion.
Okay.
I wasn't really making no money.
Right.
I was packing out clubs, and they was giving me $150. I'm packing out the club, and I'm only getting $150. How am I gonna do that? So it got to a point to where I was gonna get evicted,
Okay.
and so I was gonna get evicted, right? So I go one day to the check cashing place,
Mm-hmm.
and I was gonna cash my check. I'm down and out. I'm like, listen, I don't know how I'm gonna make it. So I see this woman,
Mm-hmm.
and she is dressed to the nine from head to toe.
Mm.
And her and I, we lock eyes.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, wow, it's something about that,
Mm-hmm.
right? And so she saw that we locked eyes.
Mm-hmm.
And so she introduced herself to me. And I'm like, hey, how you doing? You know, she's like, hey, how you doing? And I'm like, oh, okay. I say your hair looks nice. You know, I love you, you know, that you're put together. She was like, yeah, you know, she was like, oh, you know, I have a cleaning business.
Okay.
And she said, I can give you my card. She was like, we got a cleaning business. You know, I can teach you all about the business. You look like you would be really good for it. You know, and I was like, oh, now I'm desperate. I'm about to get evicted. So I'm like, okay, I want to see. And they, listen, she had it all together. She had the cards, the flyers, and everything.
Yeah.
And so I go inside the check cashing place on Welly Avenue. I would never forget this day. I come outside. Now, after she gives me the car, she does not leave, right? So when I come out, she's like, oh, I'm going to introduce you to my boss.
Okay.
And so her boss was a man.
Okay.
And there was another girl, too. And she was like, you know, we all work together. This is how we do, you know, we get money. And so she's like, she introduced me to him. And he's like, yeah, you know, we got this cleaning company, you know. And he was like, I would love for you to get down. Now, I'm naive. I don't really know the street lingo.
Yeah,
I need to get.
You about to go clean some houses.
I need to get money.
And I need some money.
And I'm about to get evicted.
Okay.
And I got 3 children.
Yeah.
So what I'm about to do.
Yeah, that sounds good.
And so he was like, okay. He was like, well, I want you to come over to my house. And I'm going to set up a time. So he set up an appointment. And so I go over the first night. So the first night, I already told you I was already experimenting with popping pills.
Okay.
So I don't know what I was thinking, but I popped the pill.
Before you went?
No, when I got there.
Okay.
When I first got there, he introduced me to the pill.
Okay.
And so I popped the pill.
Well, I have one question.
Yeah.
What type of cleaning interview is this?
I don't know. I don't know what kind of cleaning business this is, right? But I'm about to find out.
You like, listen, I need to know what's up. Okay.
And then he was cute too.
Yeah,
so let me be honest, he was cute. And so I pop a pill.
Okay.
When I pop this pill, that's been when he began to go over the whole thing about, yeah, you know, we travel, we go to Vegas, we go to Atlantic City, we go to different places. What we do is we meet clients, and, you know, when you meet the clients, we go clean the house.
Oh. Okay.
And so me being naive, and I'm desperate, and I'm depressed, and I'm at a low place in my life. So I'm like, okay, what I got to do? I'm about to get evicted. They coming like next week to put my stuff out.
Right.
What we doing? And so he tells me, you know, find you a babysitter, get everything together. You know, we're gonna ride out to Atlantic City. And so he takes my ID, right? Because he's like, you know, I get money or whatever. You done been in my house. I don't really trust people. You know, they got set up girls, you know, all this other stuff. I'm naive.
And this is before he tells you what actually is going on. So are you still under the impression that you're going to clean?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm under the impression we gonna go clean.
Okay.
Right? And so I make all the plans for somebody to keep my kids.
And he's holding on to your ID.
He takes my ID.
Okay, got
now,
it.
mind you, I pop a pill.
Right, so you're not even thinking.
I'm not even in my right mind.
Okay.
Or whatever. And I make the plans. And so I go to his house. I get myself, he told me to get myself dressed, look nice. So we go to Atlantic City. When we first get, and it's about 4 girls in a car. So when we first get to Atlantic City, as soon as we break Atlantic City, there's 2 girls on the side of the road, right? There's a white girl and a Spanish girl.
Okay.
And so the girl that I told you that was dressed from head to toe, she's driving. He's in the passenger seat. All right. And so he rolls down his window And he hollering at them like, hey, what's going on? You know what I'm saying? You need to get down with us. Now, mind you, I'm naive. I don't really know anything about the lifestyle that I'm
Yeah.
about to tell you about.
Yeah.
And so the women are coming to the car. You know, they was working. You can kind of tell they was working. And so they're looking in the car. They're like, oh, I'm trying to see, you know, what's going on. And so he's like, yeah, I'm going to be staying at this hotel. You know, you guys can come and, you know, connect with us, get with us, all this good stuff. So there is something in the pit of my stomach that is like, something is not right.
Yeah.
But I'm already here.
Yeah. You in Atlantic City
I'm
now.
here. What we about to do?
Yeah.
And so after he meets them, he drives. We go to the hotel. So the girl is getting herself together. She's getting dressed. And he's like, once she get herself to get together, she's gonna take you outside and she's gonna show you kind of like how we get clients and stuff like that. So she goes outside first.
Okay.
Now I'm in a hotel. I'm getting myself together or whatever. I'm nervous. All of a sudden, there's a big boom, 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 boom at the door. And so they already know what the boom, boom, boom at the door is, right?
Okay.
It's either two things are happening. Somebody about to rob us or it's the police. And so I'm sitting there like, oh my goodness, like what in the world is happening? Like what I'm about to do. So he says to me, you better not say nothing. And I'm looking at him like, say nothing about what? Like,
right. That I'm not a cleaner. I mean, that we clean it.
Right. So come to find out, the two young ladies that was on the side of the road, they were undercover cops. So we go the weekend, they decide they want to do a sting. So my first experience ever outside, I get caught in a sting. And so they bust into the hotel room. They put guns to our heads. They tell us to get down. And so the first thing they do is they separate us, right? But they throw him on the ground. He looks at me and he's like, you better not say nothing, right? And so they take him out because, of course, the first thing they do, they separate you. Then they took us in the bathroom. They handcuffed us, put us in these little handcuff things. They put us in the bathroom. And they tell us don't say anything, right? These are cops. And so the reason why was because they had another John that they was trying to set up. So basically what they do is if they get enough girls, then they pretty much transport you, right? And so they get enough of us, so they transport us to the jail. And so basically we were detained because they didn't catch us doing anything, right? So while we're detained, they're asking me, they're like, do you know this person? I'm sitting there like, I don't really know this person, you know? And so they're like, who are you? What's your name? Now, mind you, he has my ID. I don't have my ID, so they can't really identify who I am. So I pretty much tell them what we're there for. So there's another girl that's sitting right across from me, like grilling me, like you better not snitch. And so I'm not dumb, right? I'm from New Villaville. I know we don't snitch. You know what I'm saying? So I don't tell them anything. So they asked me, they was like, do you have a number of somebody who know you that can pretty much vouch for you? And I was like, yeah. So I give them my grandmother's number. They asked me, do you have any social media? At that time, we only had MySpace and Black Planet. Yes, I was on Black Planet World. Okay. I had my own phone line, right? I told you I was going to be out there, right? And so, you know, they call my grandmother. They tell them, they tell my grandmother, your granddaughter, she's involved in some really bad people. And so they pretty much tell my grandparents who he was, but they didn't tell me. And so they come back to me and they're like, I don't know if you know, and it doesn't seem like you know, but this guy is a pimp.
Okay, wow.
And so I'm like, okay, he's a pimp, but what I'm supposed to do? Like, you got this girl right across from me looking at me like, you better not say nothing. You got him, he already done threatened me in front of y'all. So like, what am I supposed to do? So at this point, I'm embarrassed. So they say to me, we can send you home right now. We could put you on a bus and send you home right now. And so I have to make a choice. And so my choice is I don't go home. Mind you, I'm about to get evicted. Mind you, I have no place for me and my children to go. Mind you, I'm embarrassed.
Wow.
Everything just hit the fan.
So who was at the house with the kids when you went
So
out
I left my kids with my neighbor upstairs. Now
Okay.
that was arranged.
Okay.
I paid and everything.
Okay. Okay. And how long were you supposed to be going?
Only a weekend.
Oh,
Only for a weekend. I was supposed to get some money so that I can kind of figure out what I
Yes.
was going to do when I got back. And so what I did was I gave my neighbor an emergency number, which was my kid's paternal grandmother,
okay.
that if anything happened, she can, get the
Contact them.
children. So at that time, she ended up contacting her. So my kids were with her at
Okay.
this point. And so,
So your grandmother
Mhm.
knows what's going. Well, she has an inkling of what's
Mhm.
going on.
mhm,
The maternal grandmother doesn't, though.
the paternal, no,
Paternal grandmother does not.
she does not.
Okay.
Mm-mm.
All right, and you choose not to go home.
I choose not to go home because if I went home, it would have been considered that I either snitched on him
Uh-huh.
or they had some type of evidence towards him.
And it was you.
Yeah,
So
'Cause I'm
almost
new.
like a protective custody type of situation.
because I'm new.
Yeah.
So if anything happened, the only person that said
That
something is
told was
me.
you, and he had your ID. So
Yes.
he knew where you lived.
Yes.
Okay.
And I'm a loyal person.
Yeah.
So, and that's another thing that the enemy plays on me, loyalty.
Mhm.
And so we ended up going back to the hotel. I ended up going back with the girl. And, at this time, she's giving me the spiel. She's like, we got to call this lawyer. We got to do this. We got to do this. And I'm just like, what the heck?
And you like, I just got here.
What are we about to do? So she's like, well, if anybody didn't say nothing, then they're going to be released. And literally, they was released in 24 hours. So we
Okay.
go back. When we go back home, now my kids are with their paternal grandmother. We go back home. I don't have a home to go to.
Mm-hmm.
They evicted me. They put my stuff out on the street. I don't have a home to go to. I'm
Mhm.
embarrassed. I don't want to talk to my people at this time. They calling me like, Carissa, what's going on with you? I'm just like, I'm good. That's what I'm
Mhm.
saying. I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. Knowing that I'm not good.
So what was the plan when you got back? Where did they drop you?
So the plan when I got back is that I went back to the house
Okay.
where he lived.
Okay.
I went back to the house where he lived. And so, and we're going to get free, right? We're going
Mhm.
to get real.
Please.
So
Let's do
I
it.
go back to the house where he lives. Now he's helping me come up with a plan. Bam, I'm stuck. Because
Mhm.
now I'm vulnerable. Now you about to help me come up with a plan
That's how they
for
come
me and
in.
my kids to go.
Yeah.
I got to fix this mess that I've
Mhm.
just made. And so the next day, my aunt used to keep my kids.
Mhm.
So she brought them to my aunt.
Mhm.
And so that day, I get a call from my aunt, and my aunt was like, Carissa, I need you to get up here, and I need you to get up here fast.
Mhm.
She said, DCF is here.
Mm.
And so I'm just like, my heart dropped, and I'm just like, oh my God,
Mm.
like, what am I about to do? And so at this point, he's like, well, I can't let you go by yourself. I'm going to let her go with you.
Okay.
And so she went with me. I go to my house, and pretty much DCF says to me, I have to take your children.
Wow.
I have nowhere to go. I have
Mhm.
nowhere for them to go.
Mhm.
I can't say no.
Mhm.
There's a police officer there.
Mhm.
And so that was the day they took my children.
Okay.
And so they put my children in DCF care.
Mhm.
So I go back. I'm broken.
Mhm.
I'm done. I'm
Mhm.
broken.
Mhm.
And that was the time where he broke me. And how he broke me was he comforted me.
Mhm.
And then after comforting me, he kind of like set me up to where during that comfort, it was like in the middle of it, he allowed somebody else to come in the room. And so from that point,
Mhm.
they considered that I was broke. So basically, they broke me into the game.
Okay.
And from then, I was already embarrassed.
Wait, so breaking you in, was that
Mhm.
sex?
Yes.
Okay.
So I can talk about that?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
So basically, in between, he slipped out and somebody else came in.
Got you.
And so
Okay.
I was broke.
Okay.
And that was my first introduction into the game.
Okay.
So at this point, I ain't no good for nobody. I ain't no good mother. I ain't nothing. And so his whole goal was to smear my name And so what he did was he put me on the street. And so we were at clubs, we were at gas stations. The whole goal was to get to the money.
Yeah.
And so at this point, I'm in New Haven, where I am born and raised,
Doing this.
and I'm turning tricks.
Really?
In New Haven.
Really?
New Haven.
So okay, he obviously was he from New Haven or was he from somewhere else?
He was from somewhere else.
Working in New Haven.
Working in New Haven.
And the girls were from?
They were from New Haven and other places.
Okay. Mm-hmm. So he had you, and so you were like, you had to be like out of it.
I was out of it.
To be able to do it here. Where you're from?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. So we would go to parties, and we would set up tricks, and we would go to the gas station, bars, anywhere we could go to set up tricks. We would go to the strip club. We would go to like places like New Jersey. We would go different places. I was already a dancer.
Yeah. So that was easy.
I was a different type of dancer.
Yeah.
I was a different type, but I had personality. So we was gonna make it work, honey. I got up on that stage, honey. I was doing my thing.
I always talk about the first time I was on the stage, girl, doing choreography. To different little Christina Milian.
Okay.
Get the heck out of here. Who is this girl? Get out of here.
So the girls was kind of looking at me like, oh my gosh, like we got a lot of work to do. But I had personality, and I was a people's person, and people knew me. So people that was already from the hood who kind of like knew me already, I don't know if they like felt sorry for me, but like they made it easy for me.
Okay.
While the other part talked about me.
Okay.
And smeared my name. And so from there, being in a situation, it was a very dangerous situation. So I had to get out of Connecticut. Okay. So I ran. Okay. And so he was a rapper. And so we spent a lot of time in the studio. And so we went.
The pimp.
The pimp.
So this is good because I have with my other. So there's another person that I had tell their story, not on my podcast, but before I left Atlanta. And the man that pimped her, his thing was he was a rapper. So this is very common that these rappers, right, are sex trafficking, and which is weird to me that they think that when it comes out how it is in the media with these big celebrities, if these little wannabe rappers are doing this, what do you think these big industry people with all this money is doing? Right. Why is it so far-fetched? But then I hear stories like this. Right. Please continue.
So now we are part of this family. Like the whole goal is to get to the top. Like we're gonna make it to the top. I'm going to help you get your kids back. I'm going to help you get housing. I'm going to help you get on your feet. I'm going to help you. We help each other. I'm going to help you. And so we went to the studio one day in New Jersey. And I knew I had to get out of the situation because I was in a bad situation. Now, he never put hands on me. Okay. But I knew I had to get out because I couldn't be in New Haven no more doing what I was doing. And so I go to a store, and then there was another gentleman. So he came up to me. He was like, I want to introduce you to my brother. And so, mind you, we're not supposed to talk to nobody unless it's an opportunity to get some money. And so I'm like, okay, but I know I got to get out of this situation. So I take the number. Mind you, go back to New Haven. Try to work it out with my family. I'm already broken in. Right? I feel like I don't fit in. I feel like nobody understands me. My kids are over here. Like this is just
not. It's
not working. I got to get out of Dodge. I got to get out of here. So I called the gentleman. He was from New York, and I told him. I said, I want to come up there. I said I'm gonna take the train, and I took the train up there. I met him, or whatever. And so we connected, and from there, he played the "I'm your boyfriend" role.
And that's what they always play.
I'll play your boyfriend. You know, I'm a rapper. I'm in the music industry. You know what I'm saying? And so we kind of got close. And he was somebody that I confided in. And then once we got close, that's when I met the other girls. But I'm already broken in already. You understand what I'm saying? So it's like, it's okay. So the day that I got broke was when I first got there, he put me in a room. There was another girl who had a room. She rented a room. Now I'm in New York, the streets of New York. So he put me in a room. And so
a hotel room?
No, it was like a room where you rent in a house, like you rent
they do
rooms.
that a lot out there.
So he put me in a room or whatever. He kept me there because he didn't really know me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So he would come in, you know, love bomb me, all that good stuff.
Yeah.
And so when he would love bomb me, now I don't know this part about the game, right? So he would love bomb me. And so I'm having a conversation with the girls one day, and I'm like, yeah, you know, he said he cared about me too. You know, that whole thing. I'm green.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
green.
Yeah.
And so that person goes back and tell him that. And so the day came where they came to the house, and she was gonna fight me. And so he didn't let her get to me or whatever.
Was she the bottom?
She was yes.
Okay. So can you explain what the bottom?
Okay. So basically, the bottom is the main girl.
Okay.
She's the main girl. She's the one that he relies on. She's the one that helped train the girls. She's like the go-to person.
Okay.
You know,
she finds out that you think he love you.
Yeah.
And now she wants to fight.
Yeah. Because what are you doing? We don't know her. She knew.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Why are you having these conversations?
Mm-hmm.
And so, but it was all a setup.
Mm-hmm.
He was playing to both of us.
Mm-hmm.
He was using her,
Mm-hmm.
but this was to break me. And so she was gonna fight me. And so he said, I'm gonna take care of it. And so he brought her outside. And so it's just me and him in a room. And he said, do you think it's a game? And I'm like, well, what are you talking about? And he three-pieced me. And from there, I was broke.
What now? What
So a three-piece, because I told her that he liked me and was into me. And so he three-pieced me.
Okay.
And from there, I was broke. So there's different ways that you break. It's usually 24 to 48 hours when a girl that's in the life get broken. You're either broken by either getting turned out sexually, or you're broken.
More than one partner at a time?
More than one partner. And then number two, fear and hitting you. So he three-pieced me, and he told me, he said, it's not a game. I'm not playing with you. And from that moment, everything within me, I wanted to run, but I was stuck.
Yeah.
There's two things that happen that goes to your body: freeze, fight, or flight, or you know what I mean, flight.
Yeah.
My emotion was I froze, because I was like, it's real.
So in 24 hours, you were broken, and so he broke you both ways in 24 hours. And that is like, okay, she's ours. Got you. Now, can I ask you a question?
Yes.
If you don't break in 24 hours, then what?
They'll still try to break you.
They just keep trying to
they'll try to break you.
Okay.
They'll try to break you.
Okay.
And so I was stuck, and like I was green. You know what I'm saying? Like I had a pimp, the first one, but I wasn't there long enough
to know what really.
And he never put hands on me. You know.
Right.
But I didn't know what it meant to be broke.
Yeah.
So when he hit me, I literally saw stars, and he blacked my eye. And so when he blacked my eye, I had to stay in the room in the house, and the other girl had to stay with me.
Okay.
So it was like one of those situations to where, like, if I didn't run in that moment, it wasn't another chance to run after that, you know? And so he broke me. And so when he hit me, I had to stay in a room with the girl or whatever. And because I didn't run, that's what started the process of him putting me in hotels.
Okay.
And so I started going to hotels. and I had to make money. Basically, I couldn't make no less than $1,000 a day. So he put me in a hotel first. When he put me in a hotel, I went from the hotel to the Blade. So the Blade is basically when you go on the streets.
Okay.
So I had to walk the streets. I was in New York. I had to walk the streets in New York. I went to Vegas. I went to Atlantic City. I went to Pennsylvania. I went to New Jersey. So it's either you on the internet, which puts you in a hotel room, or you on the Blade, where you got to work. Usually you get put on the Blade if they're trying to make you tough and break you in, or they put you on hotels because they just want to see what type of money you bring in, and they put you pretty much on a computer, and people, they call you, do out calls and in calls.
And then you tell them where you are, they meet you, type of thing. Okay.
Yeah.
So like is that considered backstage?
Back in that day, it was back page.
Back page. Okay.
Girl, I was on back page.
Okay. And Craigslist was.
I was
Craigslist.
Craigslist.
Doing it too, right?
Girl, I was Paris. I was Sasha. Yeah.
Okay. This is what be killing me when people be like, "Oh, why?" They wonder how people get in these situations, and I'm like, "Yo, like these dudes be thinking they be having these girls thinking that they in love, like, and you know how it is. You do whatever for your man. He come up with an idea. We're the backbone. We're the pusher. You know what I'm saying? It's just like the enemy takes what's in us and twists it. I'm like, nobody says they want to be a hoe.
For me, I was like broken, just broken with just within myself. Like at that point, I went into a deep, 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 dark depression. Like I felt like I wasn't good for nobody. And honestly, I felt like everything that I was getting, I deserved because of what happened with my children. So I felt like this was my punishment. And whatever happened to me pretty much happened to me. Like I was slipping away. Like I felt like I was lost. I was literally on autopilot. I had no emotions. I had no feelings. I had nothing. I became a robot. Like literally empty, like a walking zombie, but I still had me, but just spiritually, I just was dead. I was lost. I felt like my innocence was taken in that moment, and I was dirty, and I was just like garbage, and I was just trash, and I was just trying to make it work, because one of the things that I wanted to prove was I was going to get it right for my children. That was always my bottom line. I'm going to make it right. I'm going to make it make sense to them. So I pretty much accepted everything that happened to me. And yeah, I was just broken. I'm not a good mother. What do you mean I'm not a good wife? I'm not even a good daughter. I'm not even a good granddaughter. I'm nothing. The whole time I'm angry with God. This whole time I'm going through this, I'm mad. I'm mad at God because I'm like, God, how can you allow this to happen to me? What about me that did not work originally from what I really wanted to work? Like, what happened? Like, what twist or what did I do wrong that led me here? And that's how I felt. Now, there was a part of me that actually liked some of it, because you get used to the attention. Men are looking at you. Oh, I'm attractive to somebody. Somebody want me. Somebody want to be with me. And then you're taught that control. They have control over you, but you're taught to have control over them. So you take advantage of them before they take advantage of you. And because I struggle with my identity, I like the fact of being different people. I could be Sasha today. Sasha cool. Like Sasha gonna be, she gonna be cool. She gonna work it out. I could be Paris. Paris is energetic. I can be anything anybody want me to be, because I didn't want to be originally who I truly was. That wasn't good enough for me. So that putting on the mask every day helped me. I would say I did do like drugs, but I did weed, but weed was not my vice.
Yeah.
Alcohol
That
was my vice. I had to get drunk
Mhm.
every time, and I had to be a functioning alcoholic
Yeah.
because I could never drink without him. So sometimes I would go on my out calls and my dates, and I'll be like, "You got something?" And I'll be like, "Oh, let me do some mouthwash and let me brush." Because if he find out that I got twisted on this date, it's over for me. Number one, for safety for him, and number two, just safety so that I would be on point.
Yes.
Um,
He cared about the making sure you didn't mess up the money.
Not me.
Right.
Make sure the money.
Yeah, make sure the money get back.
But in my mind,
It was
he cared about
you.
me.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
you know, I think about it. You're there for protection.
Mm-hmm.
How you gonna be there for protection if something happened to you? You're not in the room.
Exactly.
You in the car.
Exactly.
So if anything happened to me, I'm on my
I'm
own.
done. Yeah.
If I can't get to you and get to a phone,
Mm-hmm.
what's gonna happen?
Mm-hmm.
And that actually happened to me one day.
Mm-hmm.
You know, one day I went on a call in New York, and I go to this call. Now, one of the things I can say I thank God for was discernment.
Mm-hmm.
The Lord would tell me when not to go.
Mm-hmm.
And it's funny because me and him, we had this relationship.
Yeah.
Now, I still had a relationship with him, even though I was in what I was in.
Right.
But there was this one time I went on this call. It was not working out, but I was determined. He was already mad. He was spazzing out. And I was like, I need to get to this money. I need to make this money. So I get this call. I go on a call. When I first get there, the person does not pick up the phone.
Mm-hmm.
And so I call back.
Mm-hmm.
And so the person pick up the phone. I get there, and in New York they had like these apartments where it's like you go through the door, but you got to take an elevator upstairs to get to like your apartments because they're high-rise apartments. And so I go through the door. So this guy comes out. This woman looks at the guy like, "Who is this?"
Mm-hmm.
So I'm thinking, well, maybe that's I don't know, Taylor's baby daddy, and she looking like, who this girl coming in here? But what I found out later is that he didn't live there. So that's why she was looking at him like that. And so I go inside the elevator, and when I get in the elevator, he automatically, aggressively just start, you know, kissing on me and stuff. And so I'm like, no, wait, we gonna, you know, do what we gotta do. So we go all the way up to the top floor, to the rooftop. Now, mind you, I grind. So wherever we go, we go. If we gotta go on this rooftop, we gotta make it happen, right? I was used to that being in Vegas and in Atlantic City. So we get to the rooftop. There's a still door, and so he goes through the door, and the door shuts behind me. And so I turn around, door's already shut. So I'm like, okay, what's up? You know, what we doing? He's like, what's up? What we doing? So we get to the point, you know, we talking, and he was like, you know what it is? I'm like, no, I don't.
Asking you.
What's up? But something in his eyes, it was so dark. And so he says to me, you know what it is? And at that point, you learn how to survive. So my only thing in my head, I'm on the top of the roof. We near the edge. This guy could do anything to me and leave me. So my only instinct is just to make myself feel like a human. So I'm talking to him. I'm like, I got kids. My birthday is coming up. You know, I'm about to turn this age. And he's just like, you know what it is? So I'm just talking to him. And so he pulls out a box cutter. And it's a box cutter. And he like, you know what it is? So he raped me pretty much. And so at that point, I handle what I have to handle because you learn how to survive. And so I'm thinking that he's going to either kill me or hurt me. But after he does what he does, I think, not that I think, I know because I talked to him like I was a human. And plus, I know he was high on something. And so after that, he takes a thing, he props open the door, and he goes that way, and I dart downstairs. And I run downstairs. I get in a car. I'm crying. I'm hysterical. I'm like, oh my God, what just happened? You know, and he's like, what's going on? What's going on? I'm like, oh my God, he just raped me. He was like, you don't got the money? Dude, I just told you he just raped me, and you worried about money. You're supposed to protect me. So he gets on the phone. He's like, oh, I'm going to get you. He's gone.
Dude,
what we going to do?
Where are you going to find him at, sir?
And so that was one of the defining moments where I was like, I got to get out of here. If I don't get out of here, I'm going to die. And this was around the time where Jones Beach, where the prostitutes, they was finding the prostitutes on the beach.
I remember that.
This was around the time that all that stuff was going on. You know, and I'm not saying that he was the person, but this was a very dangerous time. And so from that point on, I just was talking back and forth with God, and I was like, God, I'm not going to make it. I need you to help me. And I need you to tell me when it's time for me to go. Because what happened was I would leave, he would chase me. I would try to leave, he would come find me. It, you know, it's just a game, you know, and it's always something that the enemy dangled in my head. If you leave, you got to start from rock bottom. And if you leave, you got to deal with the fact that you lost your kids. How you going to tell everybody? How you going to tell everybody the story? So I'm wrapped in shame. I'm wrapped in guilt. And I'm like, God, if this is you, you're going to tell me when it's time for me to leave. And so I experienced that for 4 years. I went through the back and forth in the game, travel state to state. I did some other stuff too. I wasn't just in the clubs. I didn't just sell my body. You know, I did other things that, you know, when you're in that life, you do whatever you got to do. Now, the more you know, the deeper you get, the closer you become. So it got to the point to where I can't say that I was bottom, but I was trusted because the enemy played on my loyalty. And so there was times where I would minister to other girls and I would help them like leave and go home. And there was times where I'd be like, God, I'm still here. They going home to their kids. I'm here. Well, like what? Why? But I also know that there was even a purpose in that.
Of course.
Because he would still use me even in the middle of that. And it's funny because I learned the gift of gab. So I learned how to go on these dates and then I learned how to talk. So if it was a businessman, I'd be like, oh, okay. So you're going to pay me for my time. So I'm about to show you how to build your business. So that's how I started.
Show you how to build your business.
Right.
I'm going to coach you.
But what? I'm about to coach you.
You was coaching out there too.
I was coaching out there on some dates. Right? So I got my regulars.
That is crazy.
So I made it a little bit more safe. So I gotta learn a little bit. And I also was taught how to get other girls. So I was taught what to look for. I was taught how to spy them out. I was taught all of that, you know, because I was always taught the more the merrier. And this whole time he's trying to get to the money because the whole goal is he gonna be a rapper and we gonna make it to the top. And then he gonna help me.
Bring y'all, he gonna do for y'all, bring y'all with him. Same story. So just what is it? Give us some of the things that he reveals to you about how they target, who they target.
Broken, fatherless, broken, in desperate situations. And sometimes it's not even all of that. Sometimes it was a challenge of getting a church girl. It was a challenge of getting a businesswoman. It was a challenge to get a teacher. Like I can take a normal woman and turn her into something else. So sometimes it didn't even matter. It just was a challenge. It's a game for them because the game is sold, not told, right? So it's how you can take this person and manipulate this person and turn this person. And so those are different things you would look for. So you can easily tell. They can usually tell by having a conversation with you.
Mhm.
Like if you was in a club and you was shining too much, you
Mm.
know what I'm saying? Of
Yeah.
like no one's ever around you, you're alone. Like
Mhm.
there's different things that they look for.
Yeah.
I think for me, when I was in the clubs and I was trying to be a model and an industry girl, I was considered loose or a groupie. So I was an easy target because I'm trying to be something in life.
Yes.
And I'm gonna help you.
Yep, and I'm gonna help you.
I'm gonna help you get
That's
there.
how they creep in.
I'm gonna help you. Well, I'm gonna help him. So my story is not the story of okay, I was walking down the street and somebody snatched me up.
Right.
You know, and that's another thing too. We look at these women like they're not being trafficked because they made a choice.
Right.
No, they're being trafficked. They're being manipulated. Is coerced.
Abuse. Yeah.
They're being abused. They're people. And it's easy to say, why didn't you run? You could have run. You had plenty of opportunities to run. But you don't know what that person has been to. I told you the two things that broke me was when I got raped the first time, and then the second time when I got 3-piece. And so even with that, it was the consistent beatings after that.
Yeah.
Like, you know, it would be if I didn't make enough money. It would be if I had an attitude. It would be if I talked to my family. It would be if I was talking about my kids too much. It would be different things that were important to me that I would get beat for.
Did your grandmother know at this point now, like that you are literally like being pimped?
She did not know. She always thought I was with a rapper, but she knew something was wrong.
Okay.
She always knew.
Yeah.
Something was not right.
Okay.
They did not like him.
So she just thought he was like a boyfriend?
Mm-hmm.
Did they ever meet him?
Yes. So he would come and bring me for visits. I can never come by myself.
Right.
And so they knew something was wrong, but it was like in order to see me, they had to welcome him because they wouldn't see me
unless he could come.
Or another girl.
Another girl.
I even got a picture to this day where he took a picture, and we were looking at it today. It was my grandmother, my grandfather, and me. And my grandfather, the face that he was making was like, if you don't get this dude out of my
Wow. So what were you telling them you were doing when you were out, like just
modeling?
Okay.
I was modeling. I was promoting parties. I was just with a rapper. And that's another thing where even with my paternal kid's grandmother, I think she felt like I just chose a man over my children. And it was not the case. It was just so much more to the story. She just thought I was out living my life and we riding Lotuses and BMWs and cars and all of this stuff. We live in the lavish life. But you don't know I'm going out every night, walking the streets. You don't know I'm in a hotel. You don't know. You don't know that part. And not just her, but just many other people. You don't know what I'm going through. There's many a times where I was walking the streets at night. I would go out at like 11 o'clock, couldn't come back into like 5 o'clock in the morning. Through that time, I'm like, I wish it's somebody that I can call. But it's like, who am I going to call? What am I going to do?
Right.
And so I feel like before it wasn't a name. When it was black and brown girls, it was they just prostitutes, they're hoes.
Right.
But now that it's become nationwide, now it's a name. Now it's sex trafficking or human trafficking. So now people are educated more and they have more information. But I feel like there's still a distinction because people are saying if you were not snatched up, then you weren't trafficked. And that's not the case.
That's not the case.
And I think we need to bring awareness to that, to let them know, no, these girls have a story. Nobody wakes up and say, I want to be a prostitute today. There's something that happened in their life. But let me tell you the redemptive story of God. God is so good that he would take the pain and the challenges and everything that you've been through and use it for his glory. Because who would have known that he took the pain and everything that I went through, that I would be helping other people this day
Mhm.
just by telling my story.
Yeah.
I don't gotta do nothing more. I don't gotta do
Mhm.
nothing less, but just
Mhm.
tell the truth,
Just
the
tell the truth.
unadulterated truth.
Yeah.
And the woman that you see today is only because of God.
Yeah.
Nothing that the only thing I did was make a choice
Yeah.
to say, God, I want to surrender my life to
Mhm.
you.
Mhm.
And that was the best decision that I ever made. And
Mhm.
God took me from rock bottom to which the enemy dangled that carrot in my face
Mhm.
and said that you would never be anything, you would never mount up to anything.
Mhm.
God took me from rock bottom to bring me to who I am today.
Mhm.
I started with nothing. I came home with a pair of shorts, a pair of black flats, a bodysuit, and a crossbody bag with a flip phone.
How did you escape?
Great question.
How'd you run with that bag and
Great.
that bodysuit?
Great question. So I went home one day and I went to visit, and my aunt, my stepmom ministered to me, and she said, when you sick and tired of being sick and tired, you'll do something about it. And so it got to the point to where I stopped fighting.
Mhm.
How I stopped fighting was I got sober. I stopped
Mm.
drinking.
Mhm.
I stopped really doing the weed.
Mm.
They was doing lean. I didn't really do the lean because that was his vice. So it's like,
Yeah.
it's something good if you even get that. I
Mhm.
got sober. When I got sober, I started seeing all the danger that I was in. And I said to myself, and then that last time I got raped, I said to myself, if I do not get out of here, I'm not going to make it out of here. So one day, when I stopped fighting, another young lady came on the scene. And it's so funny because she prophesied to me.
The young lady that came on the
She
scene?
prophesied to me. She don't even know she prophesied to me, but she
Whoa.
prophesied to me. So I had, I left him one day when she came on the scene, right? He went upstairs to help her get her stuff,
Mhm.
and I dipped in the car, and I blew up. They call it blew up. Whenever
Okay.
you leave, that's called blowing up.
Okay.
And I left them there because I was
Mhm.
like, I ain't about to go through this. I already know when we go wherever we go, I
Mhm.
already know to show him, to show her, he gonna treat me bad.
Yeah.
And I'm sober.
Yeah.
So I'm paying attention.
Yeah.
So I blew up. Lord Jesus, I go back. Don't ask me why. I go back.
How far did you get? You were
I went to Connecticut,
okay.
stayed there for a day, came back.
Okay.
When I came back, that was the switch.
Okay.
I was no longer loyal.
Uh-huh.
When I came back, he treated me like trash. I was no longer supposed to be in the house, but he kept me in the house. So it was like I couldn't go to the bathroom without permission because his parents would see me in the house. If we leave, I had to sneak out the back.
See you in the house.
Yeah, so we lived in the basement, and his parents lived upstairs.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
The pimp?
Mhm.
The pimp that was gonna help
Mhm.
get people out of situations
Mhm.
was living in the parents' house
Mhm. In the basement.
with the holes in the basement,
Mhm.
and the parents didn't know.
Mhm.
That's crazy.
He was a rapper.
So the rapping
We were
pimp,
groupies.
y'all were the groupies if they saw you.
Pretty much.
So this can be happening right underneath somebody's nose,
And nobody knows.
and nobody know.
Mm-mm.
Okay, so yes,
Right.
you came back.
Came back. So they started treating me, he started treating me like crap, like really bad. It would be if I would eat today, if I wouldn't eat today, if I was not going shopping, if I was not doing that. It was just, I already knew my time was up. It's time for me to shift on out of here. I'm not fighting no more. I'm good. I'm good.
It's uncomfortable. It's really uncomfortable.
It's my
now.
exit.
Yeah.
My exit.
Yeah.
And so one day, I stand at the door. Now we lived at the border of Queens and Long Island.
Okay.
And so it's not that far to get to Queens from where we live because it was like the border. So one day, the Lord tells me to write down phone numbers on a piece of paper. And so I had a flip phone and I had a smartphone. So he took my smartphone and he only gave me a flip phone. And so I wrote numbers down and I slipped it inside my purse. Now, normally, check my purse. Normally, he'll check my phone. He'll even talk to Tricks on my phone. He'll text them. If he felt like I wasn't doing what I was supposed to do, he would talk to him like, hey, what's going on? And so I put it in my purse, and this was the day the Lord said, run. So I go to the door. He's downstairs. The young lady is downstairs. And so I go to the door, and I'm like, God, if this is you, I'm going to take off, and he's not going to chase me. Because there was plenty of times where I would run out the house, and he would physically grab me and pull me back in the house. Neighbors saw it. People that was mowing the lawn would see it. But nobody ever said anything. People have watched him beat me, and nobody said anything. People have watched him beat other girls, and nobody said anything. It was kind of like, I'm minding my business. I ain't got nothing to do with that. Wow. That was the type of neighborhood we lived in. And so, and it was like a uppity type of neighborhood. Yeah. It wasn't the hood. Yeah. And so I stood at the door. I stood at the door for 45 minutes. I teeter-tottered at the door. And then all of a sudden, the Lord said, run. And I literally ran. I ran from Long Island, because we lived in Long Island, all the way to Queens. I got behind a convenience store, and I took the numbers that I had and my phone, the flip phone that I had, and I called somebody. Now, this person already knew what I was going through. He was one of the ones that I'd be like, hey, we ain't having sex today. Let's talk about your business. Okay. Okay. He was one of the ones. I knew I couldn't go home because I know he would know where I am. So I told him, I called him, I said, I got to get out of here. Can you help me? And he was like, say no more. So he sent me money. I went to check cashing place. I picked it up.
This is a John.
This is a John. Sent me money. I went to go pick it up. I take it. They had the dollar holla vans.
Yep. I remember them.
I got on a dollar van. I went to the airport. I took a flight, and I went to Atlanta. He put me up in a hotel for 30 days. He didn't even bother me for those 30 days. Those 30 days, when I tell you my phone was blowing up.
I bet it was.
It was blowing up. But I ain't budged. For those 30 days, I cried. I cried out to God. I was like, God, I got to get out of this. And, you know, the gentleman, he made sure that I had a little bit of clothes. Yeah. You know, he put me up for that 30 days. I stayed there. And after 30 days, I was like, I'm going to go home. And so I went home. But the funny thing about it was, and I lied, I told my family, I said, oh, I'm coming home from the BET Awards. I lied a lot. I gotta keep this lie up. I'm like, I'm coming home for the BET Awards. I just came to visit. You know. And so it's funny because my grandmother said to me that I could not come back to her house. And she had more than enough reason, because I would come, and in the middle of the night, I'd be gone. Yeah. I would come, and I would be gone. So she said that I couldn't stay there no more. So I came home, and I ended up staying with my cousin. Okay. And then I told myself, I said, I have to do something. Like, I have to commit myself to something.
Did the guy ever come to New Haven looking for you? Okay.
He never came looking for me. Okay. I think that was God's. No, let me stop saying I think.
Right. We
know
now
that was my exit. Yeah. God made it so that I can leave. And so I signed up for cosmetology school. I signed up for Maranello, right? I signed up, and from there, and this is the powerful part of the story. I still was a little gang in me. I had my red hair. I was doing it, and I went to a youth service at my old church. And when I went there, it was a youth harvest night. I went there, and there was this young lady. Her name was Keisha, and she was dancing to the song Shekinah Glory. Yes. I started crying. You know, I was a praise dancer. I heard. So I got up and I went to the bathroom, and this woman, her name was Mama T, and Naya came in the bathroom. And Naya said, can I pray for you? And at first I was like, no, I don't know you. I don't really do the church stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I was born in church.
Born in
but
church,
I've
but I
been
don't do
through
the church.
stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I've been through
Yeah.
life.
Yeah. Everybody's skeptical.
I had my red
Shoot.
hair, you know, and I say yes, and I let her pray for me, and she prayed for me in that bathroom. And when altar call, they call altar call, and it was like an out of body experience. I found myself at the altar, and I just broke, and I surrendered that day. And when I surrendered that day, I never looked back from there, and I just been on the redemptive journey of God just healing me and restoring me. And it hasn't been easy, but I had to go through therapy. I went through counseling.
Okay.
I went through a lot.
Yeah.
But from there, you know, God just showed me that He's powerful, and He has showed me originally who He called me to be. And so now I'm walking in my purpose, and I'm still working on the reunification with my children, but now they are older. My daughter, she's an adult, she's married, she got kids,
Yes.
you know, and my children. And so no, the story is still going,
Of course.
but yeah, that's my story.
So when you came, so that means that when you came and worked with me, that was what, like a year? You've been back a year and some change? You was fresh.
Yes, God did a quick work.
Yes.
He did a quick
But how
work.
crazy is that, right? We have this idea, because He puts in us, you know, that inkling of who we are and what we're going to do. We take the idea and we run full force, full speed.
We were ahead.
Hitting all type of walls, all type of slipping and sliding, trying to fulfill this thing, right? For years. And then as soon as we say, God, okay, it takes Him 10 minutes to switch it all. You know what I'm saying? And so really surrender.
Yes.
Our will. It takes Him no time to put us back together and direct us, redirect us. Why don't we just do it sooner?
Right. I think it builds us. It builds our character. It builds our trust in knowing that who He is, because He's been revealed to me that He's so many things in my life. He is my source. Relationships for me was an idol. My marriage was an idol in my life. Family was an idol in my life. And so now that I'm learning that God is my source, and when I tell you God is a God that will redeem the time, I looked older when I was out there.
Yeah.
More than I look when I'm at peace. I look younger now.
Yes.
Because I'm happy.
Yes.
I'm at peace. Like, and I'm really Now, I ain't gonna lie to you. Sometimes I'll be like, God, I see millions.
Yeah. Yeah.
Pass through my hand.
Oh, I know.
Okay,
I know.
It passed through. It didn't go in my pocket. It passed through.
I said pass through.
And sometimes I used to struggle because I used to be like, God, here I am. I'm doing it right.
Yeah.
You know, and there's times where I struggle.
Yeah.
But now I know that, number one, I don't have to lose my values. Number two, I know that God, it little becomes much when you place it in the Master's hands. And I'd rather have that the peace of God that passes all understanding that comes to guard your heart and your mind. I'd rather have that than the material things. So I've learned to not make things and people, and even ministry can become an idol. Anything that you put before God can become an idol. And so I have learned to trust Him 100%. I've been like Peter that's walking out on that water. God, if it's you, then you bid me to come.
Yeah.
I've been like Peter walking on the water. I've been walking by faith and not by sight. And I remember putting on my MySpace page, you will know me one day. It wasn't for that. Because you got to know me by bringing God glory.
Yes.
And I'm 10 toes down for Jesus. You can call me corny, call me sold out. I don't care. I done been through it.
Yes.
And I already know what's on. I had a prodigal daughter moment where I came to myself.
Yes.
Where He said, and your servants are eating better than me. Let me come back. I'll even be a servant.
Yes. I'll do whatever. Just take me back. Yeah. Yeah.
And what he do, he take us back with open arms.
Mm-hmm.
That fear that I had,
Mm-hmm.
that would God accept me, broken. All I had to do was surrender. And all the love that I was looking for, and all the abandonment, even the relationship with my father, God has helped to heal that. Like my father and I, we have a great relationship right now. I used to be mad at my father because I just didn't understand. You know, even though he was in my life, he wasn't in my life. And I just didn't understand that. But now I understand, and I can also extend grace to him. And I can extend grace to those 5 beautiful women, young women who came from a small town to a big city. So I don't blame my parents no more for what I went through. Now they have to deal with between them and God for what they have to go through. But I don't blame them. It comes to a point where we cannot continue to blame people for things that we go through. Sometimes it's our journey and we gotta go through it. And so I'm grateful for it today.
And we never know when we're going to need that grace extended to us, because now we got children that we didn't do completely right by, and we don't want them to not give us grace because we made mistakes. But whoa.
And also, let me tell you how good God is. I had a record. I
I
was a getaway driver. I drove state to state. Okay? Sometimes we
was
go
a
to
criminal.
reverse. Woo!
Jeez, Carissa.
Listen, I'm gonna get free today. Okay? I ain't never tell nobody this, but I'm gonna tell you this today. Okay?
Tell me.
Girl, I done did credit card fraud. I done banged up cars where it was people cars and we ran into each other.
And that was a
purpose.
New York, that was big in New York at that time. The setting up of car accidents.
Girl, I done set up a few.
Okay.
All right, we're gonna get free. Okay, we're gonna get free today. Okay. But let me tell you how good God is. With all of that, there are certain jobs I'm not supposed to get. God has opened up doors to where my record didn't even matter. He opened up doors to where he would allow me to go in as a temp, prove myself, and then they would come back and hire me because I've already done the work. And it's the door that God needed me to go through. And so I walked through it. And I'll tell them my story, and they be like, "You do the work." And so even with my record today, I done been locked up. I done been to jail. I done been in stings. I done been through it. But God, he's just so merciful, and I'm just grateful. I would honestly say, for me now, the wisdom that I had a lot of love and I had a lot of support around me, but the enemy blinded me and made me feel like I didn't have it. Made me feel like I was an outcast and nobody understood me. I would definitely say do an inventory about who you have around you, and really do a good inventory. And I don't care if it's a teacher, I don't care if it's a guidance counselor, I don't care if it's an aunt, I don't care if it's that church lady, I don't care if it's that neighbor down the street that's always be like, you need to get yourself up out these streets. If do an inventory of the people that you have around you, and know that you are not alone. Also know that you are not by yourself in it, because a lot of times we feel like we're the only one that are going through what we are going through. And also know that you are enough. You don't have to try to be perfect. You don't have to try to be all of these things for everybody. Just know you are enough, and trust God, and trust the process. Trust the process, knowing that he will fill every void that you have. I had a lot of voids in my life that I try to fill with people, things, and even success. But trusting God and know that he will fill every void that you have. And be uniquely you, and be okay with who you are, and know that you are enough, and reach out for help. Reach out for help in any way that you can. Reach out for help. You do not have to go through what you are going through. If you can reach out for help, reach out for help. I have this scale that I do. It's called 1 to 5. 3, when I get to 3, I know I need to reach out for help. When I get to 3, I don't wait till I get to 4 because I know once I get to 5, I'm crashing out. But 3, I know myself. I'm very self-aware of me. I learned me, but I learned me through God. I took a time and a season of just falling in love with me and knowing who I was through the eyes of God and being okay with that's enough. So you are enough.
Yes. That's why, again, it's how important it is for us to really get healed so we can really share the truth about what we've been through so that people don't feel alone.
Do they see every time I come and get my hair done, I never pay. I never pay. But it's, oh, you got such a nice boyfriend. Oh, he makes sure you take care of you. Yeah, he does.
I had no idea.
There's times where I've been left in the nail salon for about 4 hours. Can't go nowhere because I ain't got no money. And he would intentionally leave me there. And they wouldn't say nothing. They knew something was up because I would come there all the time.
Yeah.
The question would be, why wouldn't you just leave? Yeah, as soon as I walk out the door and he parked right on the side.
Right.
Just to see if I'm going to leave.
These are things we need to, like, be told. When you see this, you know what I'm saying? These are things you need to keep an eye out for. People don't really know it. Carissa, when I'm telling you, when I hear people that never experienced this type of lifestyle, they are really, you talk about green, they have no idea. Like, they literally think it's something they seen in a movie. They don't even really believe it exists.
It's real. A lot of times when you tell stories like this, it's we're exposing people.
Right, no.
We wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities in high places. So when we get in a fight, we got to know that we're not fighting against people. We're fighting against a principality. We're fighting against a system that needs to be exposed. And there need to be advocates, and there need to be people that have been gone through it, that God has healed, that can show the redemptive power. Now you have the key. You have the access. So you have to walk in the authority that God has given you and be not afraid. Because many people are afraid to speak out because if I speak out, I'm going to expose. No, I'm not exposing you.
Right.
I'm exposing the enemy.
Yes.
Hear the lack of empathy that people have for survivors. And they don't even know I'm a survivor. And they go into a conversation, I get fired up. I get fired up. When I tell you that boldness rise up in me, and I'll be like, oh, wait a minute, you don't know.
I've seen it.
You don't know. Where is your lack of empathy? Oh, she deserved it. Oh, she knew. And the thing that I was also ashamed about, and I can say it today, God is re-parenting me. So I'm learning how to do things in a healthy way. I'm learning how to be a wife in a healthy way. I'm learning how to be a parent the healthy way. I'm learning my purpose in a healthy way. I'm learning, and a lot of times I used to be ashamed of that because I used to be like, I should already know that. But when you come and God renews your mind, he renews your mind because now he takes the lie that the enemy has told you and now change it to a truth. So now you're learning the healthy way of doing things, and there's no shame in that because that's the greatest place you need to be, because now you're vulnerable and open and you say, God, I welcome your truth.
And it can be uncomfortable because
It sure
you're doing it the other way for so long.
Your way.
We think we is just the brightest. But I am thankful for you. I am thankful for you. And now you are married.
Yes.
In ministry.
Yes.
Sharing your testimony. God is good. Won't he do it?
Yeah. Won't he do it?
This is the season